All right, all right, all right. Welcome everybody to the show tonight. Want to let everybody kind of know how this works. So we are live on YouTube tonight and on Facebook. Some live streams on YouTube, particularly on my Riding in the Ozarks channel, will probably only be available for a short time. And then I'll take it down, maybe edit it up, and then I'll repost that as a podcast. So it'll be out there for people to go back and watch, and get the meat of the video and things like that, what we're going to talk about and stuff. But if you're catching this later on the podcast and you want to participate in the live audience and be here for the live show, then make sure you subscribe to YouTube on YouTube to Riding in the Ozarks, and make sure you set that bell to be notified of all videos so you'll get notifications when we're doing lives. So anyway, I want to just welcome everybody. We got a great show tonight. I'm Mike. If you don't know who I am, we've got Firecracker up here in the corner, and then we've got Bagger Bader joining us. And tonight our special guest is Jeff from the world famous Cathouse, and he is going to talk about all things Spring Fling. So who wants to get this show started, man?
Well, I'm hoping that Jeff didn't get froze up.
Am I froze up?
No, you're back.
There he is. Now he's good.
How y'all doing, man?
Jeff,
Good.
great to see you, brother.
Good weather. I got to ride her Dyna today.
Ooh.
We're in Oklahoma today, man. Winds are kind of crazy, but the weather's been real nice up there in the Ozarks. We're getting back up there in the morning.
Right on. I took the bike home at lunch because they were talking about the storms might get here this afternoon, and that Dyna doesn't have a lot of protection. So I decided I'd just take it home at lunch and swap it out for the cage because I didn't want to get caught in a hailstorm on it. But I did. She's been riding the Sport Glide so much, the Dyna was getting lonely. It needed a little love.
They need that sometimes.
Hey, Joe, I something out though, but me and Steve are down here, man, and you can tell, like, I have a pretty nice house, but my background looks like shit. And I'm looking at Steve, and I know he's a clean guy. He's got a pretty nice house. But then I look at Firecracker shit, and I don't even know what it is because I'm blind, but it's all nice, ink, you know what I mean? It highlights her beautiful face, and then Mike's got some purple going on there. Steve, where do we feel, man?
We're second fiddle, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, we got to up our game, don't we?
For a consulting fee, I can help you with that lighting problem.
I should have a logo back here or something.
You do. Yeah, it's what you need. You just need to broadcast live from the Cat House and let that be your background. That's the best selling background you can have.
Well, fiber optics is going in there 2 to 3 weeks, and that will solve a tremendous amount of problems we have with those old historic buildings. And that's all on the agenda, man. You know, things move a little bit slower in the Ozarks.
Well, I'm glad to hear you guys are getting that. That'll be great. It'll be good for you to be able to do live streams there and to be able to, have other people there on the Wi-Fi, then be able to get out and connect and do live streams and things like that. I know in the past like Bob and Tam did a live stream from there one year and stuff. So it'll just make your venue all that much better.
We talk about the scenery and how beautiful it is down there in Northwest Arkansas, but when you walk into the Cat House and you see those Cat House girls, whoo, they just get a whole lot better real quick.
Sorry about
No,
my mom did on a live stream across the United States. She made me come in and kiss her.
Hey,
Cool.
moms always come first.
Okay, go on. So I'm sorry I missed that.
I was just telling about how the scenery inside the Cat House is pretty damn good.
No, that's we talk about that all the time, and I don't want to, I don't want to just go over and over the point, but I mean, in today's, people have choices of where they want to spend their money, and and to go to certain rallies or not go to certain rallies. I just want people to know from our standpoint of when it comes to Eureka and Eureka Springs and Northwest Arkansas and really all of Arkansas, it's just, you hear about the Keys, you hear about, Sturgis and, Galveston and all these, great places, great rallies and stuff like that. But Arkansas is this quiet little gem. You know what I mean? It's got great roads, it's great tourism there, great restaurants. And sometimes, and I know me and Angela get it when we're in Florida a lot. We'll be at a resort and somebody will say, "Where are you from?" People say, "Oh, New York, Ohio, California." And they'll say, "Hey, where are you guys from?" "Arkansas." Now, I don't have a voice like I'm from Arkansas, number one, so they don't necessarily believe it. The New Yorkers come with them, the California people, you know what I mean? So but then people say, yeah, right. You know what I mean? So people have this connotation about Arkansas, and it's really Arkansas came a long ways. They have some of the most beautiful roads. We have huge industries there. You know what I mean? And then the tourism always has been a central part of Arkansas. So not just for motorcyclists and everything else, but for everybody there. There's something for everybody to do. There's a great lakes, waterfalls, rivers. It's really an outdoor state. So we just want to get people to come there and enjoy what we have to offer. That's where Spring Fling comes from.
Well, speaking of Spring Fling, there's the poster. So
Yeah.
let's talk about this for just a second here. For anybody that might not already know, because it's possible we might have someone new in here that does not know, Spring Fling this year is April 20th to the 23rd. This is your 7th annual Spring Fling in Eureka Springs, and you got a lot of people stepping up this year and helping you this year. I know Switchback and Rock and Pig and Pig Trail and the Cat House. You guys are all working together to put on this event in Eureka Springs. We talk about the Cat House, but all these places are doing stuff and making this thing not just a Cat House thing, but a Eureka Springs thing. And so you've got on here that there's a CVMA breakfast and bike blessing. We've got the Miss Spring Fling contest, which I'm sure is taking place at the Cat House. There's the Moto meetup and the parade of bikes, 420 blowout show contest. Some other good stuff. There's the Hog Wild Run on Saturday, and Adam's got his thing. I think, are they starting at the Cat House and heading to Pig Trail from there, Jeff?
No. So Adam's thing. So for the Great American Convoy part of it, and that's what's cool. And I really want to thank Adam for blessing us with making that a starting point. I mean, he really cut down his schedule to be very short to make sure he'd launch from Spring Fling, which was very important to him, because if you don't know the history, I mean, Adam was very new in his career, when we started Spring Fling. So we asked for him to help us a little bit, and he was new in his career, and he took a chance on us. And so he has you know what I mean, he helped with this thing too. So I mean, he made his schedule very short and launched on made it to where he would leave at Spring Fling to end in Milwaukee. So his deal works like this. So on Friday night, what he's going to do is, and I'm not sure if he's taking a group of people from where he's going to be during Friday day, but he's going to end up at Switchback Bar, because Switchback on Friday nights have always done this thing where they ride up to our bar when they close, and the YouTubers that are there, the Facebook and content creators that are there, join them at the Cat House. And then we pick you guys out to do the Miss Spring Fling contest usually, you know what I mean? And then we go from there, and then we get you guys all together, and we find the common bonds, not the ambulance chasers that drive you apart and all that other crap. You know what I mean? It's the common things that pull you together. You know what I mean? And it's what rallies were made about, the people, because everybody comes together and they have a good time. What happens at the Cat House stays at the Cat House. All ended there. So but on Friday nights, what Adam will do is from between 8 and 10, whatever time they end at the Switchback, because sometimes they end a little bit later, he's going to ride from the Switchback and do a parade of bikes. We really want to make this a parade this time. Parade of bikes from the Switchback to the Cat House, where it's whoever content creators night. But Adam's doing a meet and greet. The Badgers are doing a meet and greet. Mike, you're doing a meet and greet. I'm sure Bert, the biker dog, will be at that meet and greet. All the content creators, whether you're big, small, whether you're staying in one of the YouTube houses, be there Friday night. That's where you guys can meet people in your industry, and then we can all be together, and do the same thing. And that's what the Cat House wants to be a part of. And then Saturday at Pig Trail, the 22nd, from 10 to 12, Adam's taking off from there. And Kyle sponsored Adam, and so we, for the Great American Convoy, which will start from Pig Trail on Saturday morning between 10 and 12. And we encourage everybody to be a part of that, whether you're here in Arkansas, Missouri, Florida, New York, California, wherever, because he's going to go by and touch each one of those states. And the most important thing is we're raising money for American veterans. And the thing is, that money goes right to them. Adam don't take that money and say divide it up. Kyle don't. Nobody gets their hand in the pockets. Your guys goes right to Wounded Warriors, man. And if you guys check them out, man, it's a great charity, man. They do what they're supposed to do. And, I'm just telling you, man, I got a grandson now that's a Marine. So this whole military thing, and I'm not going to go into it because I'm a big old sappy dude, but I'm just telling you, there's one thing I take pretty seriously because, I came up from the era of the kids that they've seen their parents coming home from Vietnam. And I'm telling you, man, I take this stuff pretty seriously. So I want to make sure if we're involved, we're doing the best we can. Steve, you know what I'm talking about. You've been around for a while.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Jeff, every time I come down, you make a little time for me, even though you're super busy. And it's always fun to talk to you. And your sincerity just oozes through you.
Yeah.
So, Carrie's in the chat over here, and she said her connection is not very good, but Switchback is in the house. Let's do this. Looking forward to seeing y'all at Spring Fling. Witchcraft Cycle says they're going to be there for the meet and greet. I'm sure Road Rush Nation's in the side chat. I know she's talking about coming, so I'm sure she'll be there as well. Yeah, there she put, I'll be there. And she made the comment that Spring Fling is special. It's not the same old rally. And, there's a lot of things that make Eureka Springs and Spring Fling special to us. I mean, April bought her Sport Glide, from Kyle at Pig Trail. We met Adam for the very first time at the Cathouse several years ago. My relationship with you, Jeff, is always going to make this special for me. The first time we talked was on the phone and over the internet before I ever got to come meet you in person and stuff. And I'd been to your bar, but I hadn't ever met you, before that and stuff. And so, Spring Fling is, and we've had this conversation before, but what some rallies are about vendors and, about other things. Spring Fling is about relationships and riding. It's about hanging out with people, like-minded people, being part of that community and enjoying some of the best roads in the middle of the United States. Plain and simple. It's that easy.
Look, bro, I've came from a very old school environment, and I am blessed with having a wife that really takes a prideful, hard-working, bust her ass attitude at the Cathouse. And her biggest reward, which in turn just twists my heart, man, is when she comes and she sees y'all. When she sees April in the hallway of our hotels upstairs with JS doing, that's my favorite picture when they're doing the fake motorcycle thing. I share it all the time, don't I, April? You know what I mean? Those little things like that is what makes it, all that hard work something about. The restaurant business is hard, all that other stuff. These rallies is where we get to put our best foot forward, bring you guys into our hometown, have a little bit of time to spend with y'all, and then show you what the kind of people we're really about. And I'm telling you, as far as all this Facebook shit and all this other stuff, and man, it's not my game. You know what I mean? I understand, and I do this because I want to get as many people around and to make the rally big for the people that I'm involved with, because I feel like I have an obligation to them. But other than that, it's you guys. It's Steve, man. That's how I met Steve. You know what I mean? It's you, Mike. I met you through this rally. You know what I mean? It's, and I met Adam, not through the rally. I met him a little bit before that, but he helped me build this rally. He always said one of his things when I first met him, if you ever need anything, I'll be there for you, sir, because he was barely starting out. And I said, hey, I called him one time from California. I called him in California. He was in California. I said, hey, man, I think I'm doing the Spring Fling Rally. Can you be here? He rode his ass all the way back to Arkansas to make that first rally for me because he had promised me in a year before that he'd help me sometime. That's what I think this rally is about, man. This world is so fucked up nowadays, man. People talk shit on the internet. You got this thing going on, this politics, whatever. For 3 or 4 days, man, come check that shit out of your mind. Be respectful to people. Imagine how much respect and love you're going to get back and come have fun. Leave the drama at home for your mama is what I say, man.
So Jeff, I want to make this public announcement right now. Steve graciously agreed to stand in for me at the Miss Spring Fling contest as a judge this year. And since Firecracker and I are living under the same roof, I'm gonna oblige him with that. So don't even call me. Just pull Bagger Bader off to the side, and he's my stand-in, and that way I don't have to worry about waking up in the morning with, scars.
Well, geez.
So
that's
yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
That's it. I'm sorry, Steve. You can answer that. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. If I was lucky enough to be a judge, those gals could probably work ways to get a favorable score from me.
What he's saying is he can be bought.
What
he's saying, in case those girls
or you could just say I'm a whore.
Hey, so check this out. Speaking of the Miss Spring thing, we've always done a big cast thing and stuff like that, and it's been cool, but it's just kind of got boring. So what we did this year is we're doing $500 on a trip to Vegas, and that's going to get added on to little things each and other time. I think some other people are giving up another gift certificate in Vegas for an exclusive dinner, another thing going on. Plus, we want to really tie that trip in to where there's a rally in Vegas or near Vegas called Street Vibrations, actually in Reno. We'd really like to do it about that time, you know what I mean, and do some video stuff in it and stuff like that. And there's some more deals going on. So the prize for Miss Spring Fling this year is really growing and growing each day, and it's going to be something different this year. And part of it's going to be a media contract, a small one, you know what I mean, for Miss Spring Fling.
Well, Road Rush Nation says I'm a big chicken. I just say I'm, want to maintain a happy household. So, call me what you will, but smart is the way I'm seeing it. But JS, on the other hand, he said he would like to keep his judge spot. I'll be happy to record, and then I can move around and record, do all that good stuff while Steve sits in the chair.
I want to go to Vegas.
Well, then you're going to have to probably find a skimpy outfit.
Well, so that's the thing we're going to hit on too, and I want to bring this up. So we also adopted a local charity this year, Grandma's House. It's a local Arkansas charity. It's for the kids, the older ones and stuff like that. It's just like the last chance stop place for them. They're another great entity. So at Switchback Boyums, you'll be able to buy tickets. I think during Carrie's Hog Wild Run. You'll also be able to buy tickets from Kyle at the Harley-Davidson dealerships. And then there's a giveaway too. They're giving away a trip to Cancun, and there's multiple things in there. It's a trip to Cancun. I know it's a 2-night stay, I think, at our place. There's multiple prizes on there, and it's a $20 raffle ticket. All the money goes straight to Grandma's house, and that'll be a big part of everything. And we'd like everybody. We know that we have the most supportive customers and rally enthusiasts in the land, and we just want to put it out there.
So you mentioned on the flyer here, 420 blowout show contest. So I'm guessing that's a Thursday night contest. Is that what that is?
Well, it's 420. You know what I mean? And I guess I'm learning what you can say and not say on YouTube and Facebook. You know what I mean? So if you want to
be a part of it, be there on Thursday night.
Yeah, and we have the stunt riders. KC, the stunt riders are going to be there for Kyle at Kyle's place on Friday and Saturday. I'm getting them up there in front of my bar on Thursday night, and there might be some things happen there that could be YouTube worthy. We're going to say, you know what I mean? So
some content opportunities.
Cool.
Well, yeah, we'll keep that. I mean, you got to come to see it. You know what I mean? I think there might be a to-go order delivered on a motorcycle that might ride through the whole Cathouse bar. Could happen. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. I don't want to give anybody's. Yeah, it's Thursday night. But if you know those stunt rider guys, man, they're a young group of guys. Casey and stuff. Casey actually works at Kyle's, but those guys really dig what they do, man. And those kids just really love. I mean, kids, young men, those guys really know how to throw them Harleys around, and They're very capable, very professional, and we're gonna have them at the Cathouse Thursday night, 420. We're gonna have a blowout there, and could it be a tire? You know what I mean? I guess it could be anything you want to have there, but there's gonna be lots of hors d'oeuvres and munchies, and salsa, and stunt riders, and girls shooting pictures for next year's calendar that are having blowout type outfits. Maybe April can tell us what a blowout type outfit is on a female. You know, maybe she knows. I don't know. You know,
She's probably not gonna wear it, but maybe she did get a purple leather halter top, kind of what's that called, babe?
Corset.
Yeah, she got a corset at Sturgis a few years ago, and I'm hoping Ron Sheets is talking to her. So he says you look nice tonight. So Road Rush Nation said that her daughter lives in Vegas, so we got a place to stay. We just need to go. So you might want to message her. She might be inviting you on a road trip.
hey, is she? Isn't she a little YouTuber or content?
Yeah, Road Rush Nation is out of the Kansas City area. Steve and I got to. They were at the $5,000 poker run last year and stuff, and she's been on streams. And they are coming to Spring Fling. She'll be down there. She said she'll be at the content creator meet and greet.
What? I mean, does she got a place to stay? Does she need to be hooked up with the content creators or what?
Well, I'll reach out to her. And
why don't you reach out to her and let me know?
I'll reach out to her and let you know. I know Busted Knuckles is coming. I don't know what day he's getting there, but he's a confirmed. And Bert the Biker Dog, you said was a confirmed. Will be there. JS in the chat is a confirmed. He'll be there. Ozark HD Riders is not staying in the house, but he'll be at Spring Fling, so I expect to see him there on Friday night probably. And Sinister Clutch, I know, is going to be in town. And I know we've got some other people that are looking at coming. What'd you say, Jeff?
Richcraft Cycles is going to be there.
Richcraft Cycle Works will be there. Yeah. That Bill and Ray, they were in the chat earlier. I'm hoping they're still here.
Hey, I'm telling you, that's another thing, Mike. It's and you too, Steve, because some people come up and drop your name too. You know that. But what the guys, the people that come up to me, because I sit out my joint in front of during big events because I want to feel the pulse of the crowd. And when people come up that introduce themselves and say, yeah, I'm a friend of Mike's, or Steve, you too, man. When they say, yeah, you remember me, I met you through Steve Bates, or I'm a friend of Steve Bates, I went on his thing. I'm telling you, every person I met that drops y'all's names, man, just consummate professionals, are just good people. You know what I mean? Those are a perfect example of spring flingers and people that are just badass to be with. Got some badass shovelheads, Ray and Bill, Witchcraft Cycles. Good people, man. They were on my porch this weekend. You know what I mean? Just came up there out of the blue, and we got to spend some quality time with them, man. And when you sit down, I mean, it's just, that's my favorite part, man. You know what I mean?
I've known Bill about 8 years now, and that shovel head that he brings and rides, he picked it up from the same guy that we bought her purple Dyna from on the same day. So me and him were both at that shop buying bikes at the same time. And he's a great guy, but the guy who sold him that shovel head told him to rip the heart out of that bitch and bury it in the backyard. Cause it was he was a mechanic, a certified Harley mechanic. And he's like, this thing needs to go. But Bill's a glutton for punishment, man. He just likes a hard time because he just keeps fighting that shovel head and keeping it on the road.
But he's another one, man, and just like y'all, man, he's another one. You can't buy his integrity. You know what I mean? You're just
you can buy him a shot.
Yeah, I got you. But you're not going to pay to put words in that mouth that guy thinks tastes like shit. I mean, he's just not going to do that. You know what I mean? So, and that's what I like about them guys. Hey, but one other thing I keep on forgetting to mention. So we have updated the website pretty good now, and you can tag it right off the Facebook page, but springflingrally.com. So Andy and Carrie from Switchback, I'm going to get a list of their events. I know they got Naked Jake, they got Donnie. I don't know all the bands. I just don't keep them on. They've got something planned every day, every hour out there. I know Kyle's got things going on at the Eureka Springs Harley-Davidson. The vendors will be there. The stunt show will be there. And I'm going to have all those events put on by Friday. of everybody's events that they have going on right now. Now there are things, after Arizona Bike Week, I noticed today I got calls from all over. People are realizing, hey man, I'm coming to Arizona Bike Week, and then I'm driving all the way back to Florida for this other no-name rally I'm not going to mention. And then I thought I've got some calls today to say, hey Jeff, what would you do for us? And so I think this thing is growing leaps and bounds. And I just want to make sure that we're getting all the kudos in the right places.
Right on. Yeah. I've never been to Arizona Bike Week. I got a friend that's out there this week though. He sent me a couple pictures. They're not YouTube friendly. But he runs a dyno drag racing rig. I don't know if you've seen him anywhere. He bought it about a year and a half ago. It's all out dyno drags. He came to our little rally last year and set it up, but two guys pull up in a trailer and race against the clock against each other. But he can give you your quarter mile times, your reaction speeds, all this stuff. He's not doing dyno tuning. He's doing dyno racing and stuff.
That's cool.
And yeah, maybe down the road sometime if somebody is looking for something like that at one of the events and stuff, let me know. I can put you in touch with him. But he was at Arizona Bike Week, and he must have got a break somehow, because the picture he sent me, he was in a tent, and he was the only guy in the picture, but there was at least 6 women hanging off of him.
Yeah. I've understood that. I mean, you look at, I don't think if you notice, that's one of the rallies that there's not a lot of live feedback from there unless Bob and Tam are there. You know what I mean? Bob and Tam will find a video somewhere.
Adam posted a pretty good short of a bar there this week. I saw that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of things going on there that's not content friendly with that little blur in the screen, but that's okay. That's a good time.
And speaking of Bob and Tam, I got them too, man. Because Bob is an ornery fucker, but I like him. You know what I mean? He's good. You know what I mean? And Tam I love, but. So I got them coming for Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, and they're going to do their whole little pre-Sturgis deal, where they give all that information and stuff like that. And they're pretty good people, actually, man. They do a lot. I guess they're bouncing around Florida with breaking news about Sturgis and shit like that. And they do give us some plugs out there. You know what I mean? So, I mean, they're good people, man. I like them too. Yeah,
they came to Bike Fest a few years ago. We got to hang out with them at our meet and greet and stuff. So, yeah, they're good people. And did you know they're from Missouri?
I know that, bro. They think that you guys are like related or something. Bob's crazy. You know what I mean? My buddy.
It's surprising how many content creators are from this area. I mean, myself not included, because I don't think I'm that noteworthy, but Bob and Tam are from the St. Louis area. Pro Monkey's from the St. Louis area. There's that chick, Queen something. I don't know her, but yeah, she's in the St. Louis area.
Queen Sit.
Yeah, Queen Sit. And Adam's not from St. Louis, but he's here in the Ozarks now. Moyers, I mean, I'd say Moyers is his home. So
oh yeah. Hey, well, the thing is, it's funny. I want to tell you this, and I didn't think about it till just now. So Bob, he gives you a lot of information and stuff like that. But if you notice, even on his show, he just doesn't give out a bunch of compliments. You know what I mean? He just don't. He'll even tell you, man. He goes, it'd be better to ask me what I didn't like about it. I mean, he's funny as shit. I love him, because at least he's honest. I can deal with it. But one person, man, again, bro, he was like, yeah, that Mike. What is he? That riding with the. And I said, riding with those? Like, that's him. I said, he goes, man, that guy's a good guy, man. I like to be around him. He really took care of us and stuff like that. I thought, damn, that must be pretty good. You get a compliment out of Bob like that. You know what I mean?
Well, here's a comment from the Wagonator, and we actually have met them multiple times in person. They came up to us at the local Harley dealer a few years ago, and first time or a year and a half ago, maybe we got to meet them, and then they've come and supported some events. They're in our area and stuff, and they're coming down for Spring Fling. They just wanted us to know that this will be their first time down, but they're coming down. We've got some other friends who came last year for their first time, and they're coming back this year, Melissa and Brian. And, of course, when I was talking about content creators, I didn't mean to diss anybody, because we've got JS and Witchcraft Cycle Works and, Ozark HD Riders. There's, a lot of content creators here in the Midwest that I think are, top-notch people. I mean, no doubt about it.
No, you're right. You're right.
Road Rush Nation out of Kansas City. River Bluff Baggers. I mean, it's a, I don't know, maybe I just more aware of the ones that are from my area, but I mean, it seems like we have kind of a thing going on here. Maybe it's because we have such great roads to ride. We're all, want to share that lifestyle and share this, environment. But
Hey Jeff, I got a question for you. So being here in Kansas City, and you guys only being 3.5 hours away, I've had a lot of people who aren't rally guys. They, "Oh, I don't want to be around all that, and it's too big, and it's too this, that, and the other." And I've said, "Hey, check out Spring Fling. It's a little smaller, not quite as much chaos going on, and just try it out." And I've had a number of people come back and say, "Oh my God, that was a blast." And with that said, do you kind of have a crystal ball of how you want to see this thing continue to evolve, or is it where you want it to be, or would you like to see it bigger? Or
That's a good question, Steve, man. I go back and forth about this, man. Because Eureka Springs, it has a cap on it after a certain point. You know what I mean? Just because of the logistics and stuff like that. But I've always wanted to get racing up on the hill in some form or fashion. You know what I mean? Whether it be the drag bikes or the flat track or something. Just because to me the biggest rallies, and the reason I even started going to rallies, was we just went to some no place land because we went out there and raced, or we went to the lake and stuff like that. And then from there, what it does, I really don't want it to become too commercialized. You know what I mean? I think some of those things get lost track, and then people are fighting over politics and who represents who. I can't go there. I can't put you on this. I can't do that. I didn't grow up in any world that it has anything to do with or can't. My kids will tell you when they're my boys, and I used to have them do push-ups up there. I said the word or a little. You say the word, can't hit. Yeah, Eureka Springs is a great location, and for this rally, I think it's gonna handle its own growth. Do I ever think it'll be like Laconia? I kind of, if I was thinking about a rally that I'd compare it to, I'd say Laconia. Laconia, there's a lot of people go there, but it's pretty much the same rally every year. It's a small town. I'm going to compare it to that. Will we ever get BBB style? No, I don't think so. I mean, we're just, I just don't see it. BBB does that well. Sturgis big? No, I don't think so. Do I think more promoters and people that have bars and are in this industry are not learning about Eureka and how cheap the land is? Do I see a Michael Ballard or a Chuck or something like that building a bigger entity in and around Eureka Springs or the Ozarks? Mike knows that there's rumors that those guys are looking around and doing something in the Ozarks. Do I think that could happen? It possibly could. And if that does, yeah, then things will get bigger. But, man, it's this rally right now to where we're at and where we're going to be in the next 3 years, where everybody kind of knows each other. They, you know what I mean? It's all friends of friends of friends of friends. I think this rally's grown organically, and I think that's the way I think it'll grow healthy like that. I guess to answer your question, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, like you said, racing would be a cool thing, an afternoon of hill climbs or, dirt racing or, dirt drags, just something like that. If you could find a good spot for something like that, but you don't want to, you want to add to it as the rally grows. You want to bring another thing as you need another day of activities.
Yeah. Organic.
And you want people to have time to ride Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I promise you this, Steve. As long as I'm around the Cathouse, and I'm pretty sure Andy and Carrie feel the same way, the switchback, and we got Kyle working with us and stuff like that. We want this rally to be about our area, the Northwest Arkansas, and about everybody. Those three people I just mentioned right there have no problem with sharing and being a part of everything with everybody, and that's what I want to grow from. Because if once you start letting certain kinds of money in where people are looking at dollars instead of people, that's where things get tricked off, sometimes. And I just don't want that to happen. You know what I mean? To where some lawyers are negotiating contracts or whatever. Spring Fling is about a little bit of debauchery, a lot of motorcycles, and everybody having fun. And that's the way it grew on, and that's what we want to grow that on. It's not about how many vendors are there or whatever. And trust me, I know that's a part of the game now, and I think we offer all that. And those things will probably grow because vendors want to come where the people are. You know what I mean? But as far as how I want it to grow, I want it to grow with people. Steve, you always bring somebody with you. I see you too during the midweek on Mondays and Tuesdays. You don't always like the big old crowds either. You're like me, and I tell people that, hey, if you heard about us at the Spring Fling and can't make it or don't like the crowds, that's fine. Come the next weekend after. It's a lot quieter. You can get around. We can show you the town. You know how it is when you're not here. You'll probably catch Andy and all them and Carrie up at the bar sitting on my patio having a few drinks and going on some kind of ride they'll take you on. I mean, that's the kind of town Eureka is. And that might be the best time to come. We're just using this as a vehicle to get you here and through our doors all year long.
So I'm going to pose a question for Firecracker, and I Jeff, you see what you think of her answer. I want to know, Firecracker, because you've been awful quiet. What is it that appeals to you about Spring Fling as a female rider, or just the things you like? I mean, I probably know the answer to this, but not everybody in the audience does. And since you're being so quiet tonight, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I guess mainly just everybody I've met, and of course the Italian restaurant and the Cathouse food, but mainly, especially last year, during BBB, I got to do more of the riding on my own bike, and the roads are great. But my favorite thing is just meeting people from all over the place and just getting to know people. Is that good enough for you?
Well, it's not gonna matter.
Is that
Good enough.
is that what you thought I was gonna say?
I think for you, it's the party, the people, the excitement. I mean, the riding's definitely becoming more of a thing for you now that you've gotten the Sport Glide and you're more comfortable, I think. But I think before that, she likes to go out and have a good time, meet people, listen to good music, eat good food, and
and then go be a shit show.
yeah,
No.
she's been a shit show once or twice.
No. Hey, can I ask her a question, Mike?
Absolutely.
Hey, Firecracker, check this out. I know, you know what I mean, and I duck and dodge around there. When you're at the Cathouse, man, and it's out on the patio, it's Friday or Saturday night, and the bulk of the people from the rally are there and stuff like that, and you're running around with your little crew, whether it's Ray or Judy or you got your 4 little homies running around, you got a couple drinks in you. Do you feel safe at the Cathouse? Yeah, and when you're there, do you meet people that are like and similar kind of with you? Good.
I'm just one of those people. I usually don't let things bother me. Like there's plenty of times we've been places and Mike's nervous over something. I'm like, I'm a big girl. I can handle myself. But I've never felt like I wasn't safe at the Cathouse at all. We have been some places that I really had to keep my eyes open and stuff. But I've never felt that way there.
And then when especially when you're giggling and you got that smile going on and stuff, haven't you had I've seen y'all, especially in the front part of the bar. You always meet some girl you guys drag along and help get to her car or whatever and take care of them, take underneath your wing every time you're there. So I know you meet a new friend.
I'm pretty protective of my friends, let alone, but I mean, I'm one of those people that once I get a couple drinks in me, I'm a little more talkative and alive than what I am normally.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of security, Jeff, I remember the first time I saw you, and for those that haven't seen him yet, he's an imposing figure, and he sits out front on this little stool. And I looked at him and I go, "That's a big pipe hitting motherfucker right there." and what I'm saying about this is, you set the tone, and you're basically saying, "Have fun, but stay in your lane."
I mean, that you know, I grew up on the West Coast, and you know, I've lived all over the place and stuff like that, and I've made it this 57 years by number one. And if I ever have done this to anybody, please let me know. But I'm all about respect and knowing where it is, and you know what I mean. I would never disrespect anybody's joint. Mike's took me and introduced me to places at the Ozarks. Steve, you took me to places. You Adams, you know, rally there, man. I don't do security there, but we bring our girls down there and stuff like that. And that crowd gets pretty rowdy. But I can usually talk to a man and get along with them one way or another. But yeah, you know, I'm not gonna cross the bridge with anybody, but I give a lot of respect and I expect the same in return. But I usually get that, man. I have very few incidents at the Cat House.
You know, we were talking about how Spring Fling could grow, and Ray made a comment here, and it kind of sparked an idea in my head. You know, so Ray said, "Firecracker on two wheels." Trust me, she can talk, and that comes back from. So we got to hang out with Ray at Cycle Showcase. And I don't know if you saw the video I dropped a couple of days ago about Cycle Showcase and Monkey, and I mentioned Ray and Dallas. They're in the chat. They were there, and Zan Biker and stuff, but you know, so he got to hang out with her in a bar on a Friday night, kind of like a Cat House type, you know, it's a totally different bar, but that kind of vibe, you know, everybody's bikers, everybody's hanging out, having a good time, having a drink, band's playing, and we're all just visiting and stuff. And anyway, that's kind of where that comment comes from. But, you know, that was a really, really cool show. And I kind of feel like biker shows, chopper shows, and stuff like that are making a comeback, bigger and or at least they're getting more press than they were. You know, the Donnie Smith show, Cycle Showcase, the Daytona, you know, Pro Monkey one with Brown Sugar and stuff. But he was showing the bike shows and the chopper shows down there. And Cycle Source magazine that does shop talk on Sunday nights, they talk about the chopper shows here and there and stuff. And you know, they've got the Arizona Bike Week. They had the you know, chopper showdown or whatever it was that they were doing. They've been, you know, doing that for Arizona Bike Week, and Clockworks of Brian Clock and Paul Yaffe and all those guys built choppers for that. And next year, I think they're talking about doing that ride and doing that deal at Sturgis and stuff. But, you know, maybe racing's, I know, got a lot of liabilities that go along with that whole, you know, environment. You know, you got insurance and waivers, you got to have a place for it and stuff. But, you know, maybe something like a Cycle Showcase bike show and reveal there, you know, one day or something. That would be a really cool thing to bring to Eureka Springs. And, you know, next year, if you want to, you know, you want to come to Cycle Showcase with us in February, it's on Super Bowl weekend. We'll introduce you to the guy that's doing Cycle Showcase in Missouri, because I hear that he is looking to branch out, and they're talking about doing like a Cycle Showcase here and there and doing his style show. And I don't know if he's going to be in charge of them or they're just kind of using his format or what, but you know, something like that would be really cool. You know, a chopper show, you know, on one day or one afternoon. And like what they did at Cycle Showcases, they had some bikes there that have never been seen before. They're under a black sheet, and he unveils them at that show. And that's the first time they are seen. And I posted some pictures of them, and some of those bikes went later to the Donnie Smith show and stuff. So, but they were seen at Cycle Showcase first, you know, so maybe get in with some of those crowds, get some of those custom builders or something to do a show down there, or bring a couple of bikes down or something. That would be do an exhibition of, you know, custom builds or something. That'd be a cool thing.
Well, that. I mean, always since day one in our vision was to have a, you know, the baddest custom bike show. But just like you said, and just like the names you made, they are becoming more popular, and they're just everywhere now. And you really got to have a name tied to it. So I'll tell you, I'm going to throw it out there. I've been trying to contact and through different sources and, you know, whatever. And Billy Lane, he's one of the few people. I don't have a lot of contacts in Florida. I mean, I only was there for a short time, but I've always wanted Billy Lane to do it because he's right here in Tennessee and stuff like that. But, you know, that's going to be my goal this year. I'll tell you, there's a guy named Charlie Fagan, man. He's from right here in Missouri, Galena, Missouri.
June 10th.
Yeah, he's a guy that's really impressing me. He's a local guy. I'm probably going to reach out to Charlie because I know he'll say yes. I don't want to put him on the spot, but I'm going to probably have him see if he'll run the bike show this year and if he'll just take that underneath his wing, because that's what he loves to do. Maybe I set my goals a little bit too high. Maybe I thought, maybe I did. You know what I mean? I mean, that's reality. I make mistakes too, but I'm really impressed with this guy I'm meeting. His name's Charlie Fagan. We've actually going to work with him on the Ozark Mountain Rumble come June 9th and 10th. And that's what he loves to do. He also helps a bunch of kids that are in need and stuff like that. It's really impressive. I think he runs a great group. I mean, he doesn't want anything negative on there. He doesn't let people downgrade each other. He's very on top of it. Guy's been highly impressive. So that's who I'm going to reach out to this year to help with the bike show. Because again, I set maybe my goals a little too high this year, and I'm at the last minute and I'm scrambling for a bike show guy. My wife's got the awards in here, all the stuff, and we don't even have a name on it yet. So Charlie's who I'm going to reach out to, and I'm telling you, I think that guy's probably going to do a great job at it if he'll say yes, and that's you're right, and I want to tell you, Mike, that's part of the kind of little stuff we're dealing with. It's just happened over the last few years, like you mentioned. John Shope and Yaffe and all those guys, and that bike show they do and stuff like that. Well, that bike show this year, I think I could be wrong, was actually in Cave Creek. Well, now I guess from whatever they're saying, because everybody's, again, it's because all this, everybody's a company now. I guess it's Arizona Bike Week and Cave Creek Bike Week. It's not one anymore. You know what I mean? Because I guess you could say certain things on whatever, and I could be wrong about that, you know what I mean, or whatever. But I know that there was some deal about that. Cave Creek's Bike Week is not affiliated with Arizona's Bike Week. Maybe
and we've had this conversation, and sponsorships and all this stuff gets in the way sometimes. I mean, everybody's got to find a way to fund events and make things happen, and I get that. But then it's got to be, well, my logo's not on it, so you can't use this and you can't use that, and it's part of this industry and part of what happens in business, and everybody's got to pay the light bill. I mean, you got to buy hamburgers so I can eat. That's just the facts.
Yeah.
You got to buy Reubens because Firecracker's going to want one. That's just it when we come.
I think that's the question Steve was asking. Like, Jeff, what did you want to see? That's what I don't want to see. You know what I mean? That's exactly what I don't want to see. Right now, I can call you. I can call Andy and Carrie. I can call Kyle. I can call anybody that's involved with this rally that is helping or will do something. I can call them, and it's taken care of. I don't have to wait for a board of directors or a meeting or sponsorships lawyer to get back to me or nothing like that. That is not what I want. I don't want nothing to do with that crap. You know what I mean? I just think that, I get you. Everybody likes having a cell phone. I mean, in some way, form, or fashion, we're contributing into it right now. I got you. But man, I want for 3 days, 4 days of your life to slow down. Let's talk about Emilio's Firecracker, the Mexican restaurant. Let's go get the garlic bread. You know what I mean? Let's bike and go to the lake, and when you're feeling flirtatious and drinking some tequilas, to get a picture of you in the corset next to the bridge. You know what I mean?
On my personal,
we're getting somewhere.
On my personal Facebook page, my profile picture is the back of my vest and the back of her vest with my arm around her, staring across Beaver Lake, and that's been my profile picture for like 2 years now, because we did that down there. We went out there together. We sat on the rocks. We stared at the lake. A friend of ours took a picture of us from behind. I had my arm around her. We were just taking in the environment, and it's one of my favorite pictures because every time I see it, it reminds me of that experience, and stuff. And that's what Eureka Springs is, Road Rush Nation. I don't know if you saw it earlier. She mentioned that they went to Eureka Springs and they liked it so much they got married there. Witchcraft Cycle Works got married there. There's a theme going on here. Something in the water down there, but whatever.
I tell you, the Cathouse performed weddings. I'm just fucking with you. No, I'm just kidding.
We ain't drinking the water down there.
So, living with me is changing her tune, ain't it?
Hey, Jeff, I haven't heard anything about this, but you mentioned a bar to me several miles outside of town. out east, and it was a husband and wife, I think, that ran a little bar, and it's Jim's or something. And has it still around, or did they?
No, man. Jim's burnt down. And,
Oh,
he's trying to rebuild it back, no insurance. And actually, his wife, man, now works at Cathouse. She's actually Angela's assistant. She's actually that's how we met them. You know what I mean? And I called her just because, it's so hard to find labor. I called him and asked if she would even entertain it. And I'm telling you, Aaron's been one of the best blessings the Cathouse has had in a while. It's really took a load off Angela, and it's allowed Angela to be more in depth with their employees. I'll tell you though, there is a new bar up there. I know for a fact. I mean, they haven't announced a whole lot. I don't want to say too much, but some friends of mine that own Art's Place in Fayetteville, it looks like. I mean, I haven't heard it from them personally. I've been a little bit busy. But I think they're opening a place called Jonesy's up in Eureka Springs. It's right as you go outside of Eureka Springs towards Berryville, and they're kind of a biker bar, local bar in Fayetteville, and they cater to everybody. They got great food, and they're going to be open, I think, in April. But I mean, they'll announce for soon. But they're a great place, great family. Been running the place for
I followed Art's Place after you told me about it and stuff. And I saw a post about from Art's Place about a couple of people that worked for him that were like opening in a bar in Eureka Springs. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I think it's Eric and Nikki, the same owner of Art's Place, that are opening the bar. When they're talking about the two from Art's Place that are leaving, that's her daughter, I'm pretty sure, and her son-in-law that are leaving there to go run that place. I think the way it is. I mean, on. But Eric and Nikki, they're great. They're local people. Eric rides a bike, used to be in the paving business. I mean, they're just great people. And the thing about them, just like Andy and Carrie, they're not going to, I don't think they're going to get involved in the politics at all, because Eureka's different. I think they're going to be a great supporter of this community. I know they will be a great supporter of this community. But I want them to come out and say their own thing. I haven't seen them yet. I'm not bugging them. I know they're busy. As soon as it opens, I'll go up there and get a burger and get the rundown, and I will get back to you. I'm pretty sure they're going to be open for Spring Fling. As soon as I know if they will, I'll put a post out about it.
Right on. So is there, I mean, Switchback's got the Hog Wild Run, and of course the parade starts at the Switchback on Friday night and ends at the Cat House. I know Pig Trails shared out that they've got the stunt riders. They're going to be up there, I'm assuming, at the parking lot in Eureka Springs where the Eureka Springs Harley-Davidson dealer is on Friday and Saturday.
And all that will be on the Spring Fling Rally website. All
right. I'll make sure when I repost this as a podcast, I'll make sure I get a link to that in the show notes down there and stuff. But and then you've got the Miss Spring Fling contest. Is there anything not on the flyer that we need to give shout outs to? Anybody supporting the event? I know Rockin' Pig is on the flyer, and I know you said they'd stepped up and helped. Or they probably aren't doing any events, but everybody probably needs to know who they are. You want to kind of give people the lowdown on them, Jeff?
Okay, so Rockin' Pig is a great restaurant and entity. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Marshall is Kyle's brother. That's the Johnson family, and Marshall's been had Rockin' Pig now for probably 15 years. Now Marshall is a certified chef, man. I mean, he went to culinary school. He really loves food, you know what I mean? And he knows how. He takes barbecue and does some wonderful things with it. Marshall also raises his own Wagyu beef, and I'm not getting into that because I don't understand it, and I'm not going to even try to explain it. But it's supposed to be a better beef, or more of a, a little. He can explain it to you. But if you look at their menu, man, I mean, I go there for the wood-fired pizzas. He's got killer steaks there. It's just almost a white tablecloth menu, but it's a very friendly atmosphere, and they got a full bar there. And it's right there next to the Harley shop up on the hill, Rockin' Pig. They've been in business in Eureka for, I think it's over 15 years. And he also has a remote location down there at the Pig Trail Harley-Davidson right next door to it. So on Friday and Saturdays and Sundays, I think, they open that location down there. great food, great restaurant. They don't really have events because they tie up their whole parking lot to food, beer, and drinks like that. But Pine Mountain right next door to them, that's where all the events are. During the. I mean, you got to look at it like this. Eureka, the whole town of Eureka, whatever events there, the whole town comes out no matter what. So when you get on your bike in the morning, you go eat at the breakfast place. And I'm going to tell you, this year the Cathouse is pulling off brunch and breakfast. You know what I mean?
Witchcraft Cycles made us aware. What was this about? Some kind of bottomless mimosa?
Bottomless mimosas, $5.99. You got brunch, cooked to order omelets, homemade waffles with strawberries, blue, whatever you want. Hash brown casserole, bacon, sausage, $9.99. Not an all-you-can-eat buffet. Come through and get whatever you want one time. If you need 2 plates, do it. You know what I mean? But one time, get what you want for $9.99, and then bottomless mimosas for $5.
I was years ago. I was the kitchen manager of a bar and grill, and so I made the menu and everything. And I got to tell you, for those that haven't been to the Cathouse, your menu is not typical bar food. It's definitely a step above it. And I was always surprised when I first went there and started trying your food, how much energy goes into those dishes. And I'm sure it's probably Angela, but you guys do a great job of serving great food.
Thank you, Steven. And I'll tell you, that's the thing. Our kitchen's one of the smallest kitchens in Eureka, so everything's prepped upstairs. And Angela tries to make it to where you're getting it fresh the next day at the worst case scenario. So that means everything has to be prepped upstairs where it comes down. And I'll tell you, Steve, I don't know when's the last time you've been there, but we just came out with our new menu, and we really didn't change it. We kept everything on there that we've always had, except for we took it a little bit farther. Me and Angela, never being in the restaurant business for the Cathouse, we had to learn some things. Well, one of the things you need to learn when you're in Eureka is you better have really good damn food. So what we did, bring back a prime rib on Friday and Saturday nights from 5 to 10 or until it lasts. It's a full 16-ounce cut, and if you think that ain't big enough, my cooks are cooking it right there. They'll be more than happy to cut you off plenty of what you want for your portion. And it's from 5 o'clock Friday and Saturday night until it lasts. We've got a bacon wrapped meatloaf with mashed potatoes or a baked potato now, and that it's just like my mom made. It's a big old fat piece of meatloaf. I mean, the portions are even bigger now. We've got a couple artesian burgers on there. I've got a peanut butter and jelly burger. We got a donut burger, Mike. We're going to see how many people.
Hold up. What are you looking at me calling out donuts for?
You know what
I've lost 10 pounds since February, bro. Can't you tell?
Landed a few donut places. Anyways, we've got a donut burger. We've got a couple other appetizers. We got tamales there. I mean, we didn't really change our menu or anything like that. We got a bit better bun and stuff like that. We did some different stuff with our meat, but we got it to where we're really concentrating on putting out our food product this year. So I appreciate that plug, Steve.
Well, Witchcraft Cycle Works for sharing your menu and your mimosas and your breakfast stuff. That's how we knew about it.
Yeah,
we follow them. And if anybody's not following Witchcraft Cycle Works, I put them up on the screen here. Check out their Facebook page. That's Ray and Bill. They recently started a YouTube channel, so I'd say go check that out too. They don't have a lot of content yet, but I know they were in Arkansas last weekend, so I expect some waterfall content to be coming. So really good people, real down home to earth kind of content, just them being them and being who they are and telling it like it is. And they've probably been around me sticking a camera up in their face for the last 3 years enough that they're pretty comfortable with it. Cause they've been on the channel a few times before they started their channel and stuff, but they are really good friends of ours, great people. And they love to ride. Like Jeff said, they're those kind of people that, when he thinks about Spring Fling or he thinks about his clientele, those are the kinds of people he thinks about because they're just the right kind of people. They fit this community. They support this community. They promote this community and stuff. And, they're great people.
Yeah, they're real and they know who they are and they don't have an ill intention for nobody. And he ain't no punk because if you cross on his toes, he's going to deal with you. That's what makes them real. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he says your Merlot steak strips are, oh my God. Either him or Ray Ray. I don't know which one that is. Oh my God sounds a little bit like Ray Ray though.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're good people. I'm going to warn you. We haven't announced this, but I've reached out to them. We are going to have a live stream with some lady riders, featured, including Firecracker. We're going to put Firecracker on the spot in the hot seat as a guest instead of as a host, along with Riding with a Mermaid and Ray from Witchcraft Cycle Works. And we're going to try and promote that and get lady riders to get into the, audience and stuff and just talk about things, ask them questions as a lady rider and get their perspective. I saw something really interesting on Cycle Source's podcast a while back here that lady riders have grown from 5% to 19% of our motorcycle community in the last few years. And I think that's awesome. I don't talk about a lot on the channel, but me and Firecracker are part of a motorcycle rights organization here in Missouri, the largest one. And we promote riding and safety and brotherhood and all that stuff. And I kind of keep a little bit of that separate from the channel because they have social media policies. And I don't want people to mistakenly think I'm a spokesperson or I'm speaking for them, because I'm not. I'm just a member. But it's great to see, and we've been seeing this in our organization, a larger percent of women joining, and sometimes they join as a girlfriend, but maybe they split up and they stay, and the boyfriend leaves the organization or whatever else, but they stay involved in the organization because they're getting more and more involved in the lifestyle. We try as a motorcycle rights organization, we're very inclusive. We don't have. It doesn't matter what you ride. This isn't an MC. You don't have to be an American bike. I don't care if it's a Honda, a Harley. I don't care. You don't have to ride to even be a member. You just have to support motorcyclists' rights. That's what our foundation's about and stuff. But it's cool to see the women becoming a bigger part of our community. I think that's great. And I got to come up with a whole list of questions. If you feel like joining us and asking them questions that night, you let me know. We'll put you in here as Firecracker's substitute as a host, and you can help grill her.
I don't know. I mean, I like Firecracker and stuff like that, because sometimes what comes out of my mouth, I wouldn't want to have Firecracker to deal with the national news or nothing. I like talking to her on the side, man. And when I want to talk to everybody, because I know she's got a hawkish eye, I'll pull up and just ask her something in her ear, and she'll whisper it back to me, and I usually go about my business with her.
Jeff, you are a lot of fun. Just so you know, Jeff, you are a lot of fun to have on the show, regardless of what kind of background you got. So
yeah,
we love having you on the show. We appreciate you coming on and talking to us about all this stuff and everything. So if you ever just want to get on a live stream and hang out with us, you're always welcome.
Well, yeah, same thing, man. Hey, we really appreciate you guys, man. Firecracker, Steve, you, Mike. I mean, we just couldn't do these things without you. This is how we organically grow this thing. You know what I mean? We know the people we're getting. Your fan base that's touching you with chats right now. Steve knows who he's to do. Firecracker's got a great following and a great movement within the women's community and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? When it's like she says, I'm not putting words in her mouth. When she gets up there and feels relaxed and around, she's one of the funnest people to be with. I mean, I watch her up there, man, and I've hung out with her. You know what I mean? Sometimes on here, I know it can seem like she feels like on the spot a little bit up there, but when she's herself and wants she wants you to know her, she's very good with her words, and I like talking to her, man. She's very intelligent. She don't have problems in her mind. You know what I mean? So.
She's a little camera shy, and she's like, when I was planning this stream, she's like, well, what do I need to be on there for? You and Steve can just talk to Jeff. And I'm like, you need to be on here. For one, you're our balance. Nobody wants to look at three guys all the time.
We need the eye candy. Her background, I can't see everything, you know what I mean? But
I get a little credit on the background. I brought her backlighting up tonight and set it up for her.
That is badass. You know what I mean? That pops. I mean, you look at me, big old ass heads, and then you on there with your purple and your beard, and then her, she's all pretty and shit. You know what I mean? It works.
Well, Steve's lighting's gotten better as it got darker.
I know what I mean? You guys are putting me out there in the White House and shit. That's cool. I can deal with it.
But hey, that's just because you're the POTUS, baby.
I got
Mike made me do it. He was going to fire me if I didn't do some stuff to set up my my studio better.
To bring it up, I got you, man.
Yeah, so we'll put Bagger up here in the spotlight now and stuff. But yeah, the keys to have a little front light to light your face and a little darkness behind you and a little fluorescent lighting of some kind or colored lighting back there to shine off the white wall so it doesn't look like a white wall. And it's cheap. That thing behind Firecracker, that's a $25 floodlight that does RGB coloring. Plug it into an outlet and go. But it really sets things off. And just put a little white light in front of her to light up her face, show what a beauty she is. She'll put right up front. She loves it when I make her center the video. But we're having a little fun here now. So, but yeah, we're gonna do a ladies' night kind of thing and get lady riders on here one night and talk about the things they deal with, how they've come to be a part of the community, all that kind of stuff. I think that would be good, and I think that would serve that 20% of our community that there are a lot of women content creators and stuff like that, but probably not near as many as there are men. And I just want to make sure they get their opportunity to share their stories and their experiences and stuff as well.
Well, I promise you at Spring Fling Rally, there'll be 60% of the women and 40% men. How about that? Because that's what those numbers are. We get more women up there than we do men. I don't know how it works out like that, but we do. So that's a big.
You keep throwing those numbers out, and it's going to change.
Well, keep that a fine secret.
I do have to say, at Spring Fling, I've got to get Steve and Mike and a bunch of them because we're going to park my bike and they're all going to circle around my bike so it doesn't get damaged while we're there.
We're going to have to. I think what she's hinting at, Jeff, is she wants one of those parking spots next to you at the front door where you can keep an eye on her bike.
I want it safe where somebody doesn't run into it.
Be able to keep an eye on her bike right from where I'm at.
Have you seen her new paint job?
No, I've seen it, man. I think it looks cool, man. I mean, I've always dug purple and stuff like that. I've never done a purple bike, man, but I mean, she pulled it off cool. It really ain't that chicky purple. You know what I mean? I know she's a girl. I get that, but I mean, it's a pretty color. I mean, I really like that. I'd ride that bike.
Yeah, it's a beautiful color. A friend of ours, he painted the base paint, and then the same guys that airbrushed my Batwing on my Street Glide did the hand lettering on the tank and on the fairing for her and stuff. And I mean, they pulled it together nice. He's going to do a little more pinstriping on it now that the bike's all assembled. We just got to get time with him. That'll probably happen in May, if not before, because he'll be down at the rally that we do in May. And so she'll get a little more pinstriping on stuff, but it's come together really nice. She's really happy with those bars we put on there. She did about 150 miles last weekend. And other than the wind pushing her a little bit, she did really well as far as like not cramping up with the bars and the ergonomics not being right.
Yeah, that wind's it's real bad here tonight. So it's an issue, man. I mean, that's just be careful out there, girlfriend. We got you.
But, paint's an interesting thing when it comes to bikes. Some people are cool with the factory colors and they do all this other stuff to them and stuff. But I think my experience is paint is what seems to be the thing that catches the everyday rider or the non-rider's eye. They see a flashy paint job and that's what draws them. My bike with the Batwing on and airbrushing draws a lot of people to it. And they don't know that I got all chrome controls and I got a stage one and I got aftermarket exhaust and I got a loud stereo. What they see and what they remember is that paint job. And, it's whether it's flashy or subtle or whatever and stuff, it can, paint can make a big difference in how the community perceives you, perceives your ride and stuff. And it's really, the more we get into customizing bikes and like her painting this bike and stuff, the more we see that from people that see the bike or see it online,
It's reflective of her personality. You know what I mean? It's subtle purple.
That's the thing about one thing about the Harley community, especially the Harley community, is customizing their bikes to fit them, to show their personality, their style, I mean, there's a lot of black street glides, but there's still a lot of black street glides that got a little one-off touch here and there, custom derby colors that are engraved or whatever else and stuff. And that's a cool thing about this community and stuff, and the way we embrace each other and we go up and check each other's bikes out and oh, that's cool, I like the way you did that and stuff like that and stuff, and that kind of stuff. I mean, I know it happens at Spring Fling in the parking lot, because that parking lot's full of cool ass bikes.
Yep, it is.
Jeff, is there any talk about doing anything more downtown as far as parking goes?
I don't, you guys know, but I rent that parking lot so that I can have more control parking close to us. I mean, there's talk of a parking lot going up, and if I was just thinking of myself, I'd think, yeah, because I know twice a year I could fill it up. You know what I mean? But for the overall look of Eureka, I'm gonna have to side with some of the locals there, and just think it's probably not the best look for Eureka. I mean, I just, I've been to, I compare that kind of to, the Florida Keys. You don't see a bunch of parking lots down on the Keys on their main 2 blocks or 3 blocks. I mean, parking's an issue in Eureka. It always has been. I'll tell you, the one thing too, though, that trolley system is Johnny on the spot. So like it, and if you parked up at Mito's at the Mexican restaurant, who's a very cool guy, or at Legends, or someplace else, or a restaurant, or a main parking lot, and you wanted to go downtown, you can just jump on the trolley and your bike's perfectly good where it's at. You know what I mean? So you don't have to even worry about that. Or if you've drank too many adult beverages and you want to, take your bike, or if you want to go take your bike to the hotel and go consume as many adult beverages as you want, you can literally jump on the trolley right in front of my place or in front of the bank and take it right to your hotel, restaurant, Airbnb, or whatever. So, I mean, there's some ways around that. But, yeah, parking's an issue. It always will be in Eureka. It's the way it is.
You can't hardly fix it without taking away from the atmosphere of the city. The downtown area. I had someone comment on my video last week. They were watching the video from Spring Fling last year, and they said something about local law enforcement and how they treat the bikers and what I thought and this and that. And I said, I'd actually got to talk to them during BBB and kind of share the message. And they're not out there looking to be hard on bikers, but the fact is that downtown area is full of old buildings with old glass. They're not, they're trying to keep that historic environment there and stuff. And all they're asking is not to go down there and, blow your pipes off the glass and make the building shake. Have a good time. If you want to go rack your pipes, there's a McDonald's up the road. They got new glass.
You can go to the Switchback and do a burnout in their bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're good with that. There's a place and a time for it. Just
for everything.
Try and be easy on the historic district, and not, don't make the business owners call them and they won't come looking for you. It's really what it boils down to.
Well, Bozeman came by my place for breakfast the other day. He's just one of them, but he's ready to do his next video. They're getting all the clearances and signing all their paperwork, the police department. So hopefully we'll do some interviews and catch him on some videos and get some videos of them and kind of what they are. But I'm just going to let y'all know, every town that I've ever been to, I just came back from Daytona. I go to rallies all over the country. You have the good and bad within every police department. That's just the way life is. But I'll tell you, for the most part, and I mean 95%, I'm not telling you, there's this one kid that probably needs to learn some manners, you know what I mean? And he will. But other than that, you have 95% of that police department. They either ride a motorcycle, you know what I mean, or they're just good guys, you know what I mean? So that they're not out there looking for you. They're not out there to make your life difficult. They're not out there. I hear this all the time on my porch. Oh, they're just trying to run their total because they want to add the money up. No, I'm telling you what, man, because of me and some other people that are down their throats, you know what I mean, for how many tickets they ride on some other days, They're not trying to do that. Eureka Springs is one of the most well-funded police department there is in the country. People got to remember, we have 2,000 people that live there, and the police department has $1 million or $2 million a year budget. They don't need any more money, trust me. And they're not out there trying to run up the tax base. That little town has more money than it does have sense. That's part of the problem sometimes. So it's nothing like that. It's a matter of, if you've got an asshole that thinks that he can come from wherever his little town he's from, and he watched the Sons of Anarchy once in 1983, and he's going to come there and disrespect everybody, show that his representative is louder than another. Well, that in a small town like Eureka or downtown Daytona or Port Charlotte or Laconia or any of those places, that's just not what you do if you don't want a ticket. That's just it. You know what I mean? And the sad thing about that, what I see happen in my place, is you get the guy that hits the rev limiter that's an asshole and leaves, and then you get the guy leaving with his wife that had that one extra too many beer. And I mean, really just one extra, but can make it home safely and would not have a horrible night. But that cop gets him because that guy was an asshole. That's what pisses me off a little bit sometimes, because, you know, if I go to Daytona and I want to go run my bike like crazy, or, you know, I'm going to do things or iffy, I just go to the ghetto. I know how to get around. You know what I mean? If I'm at Sturgis, I go take off to Spearfish. I'll run the bike on the freeway. I won't be drinking. And if I'm drinking, I'll probably do some other thing and take an Uber home. You know what I mean? People make their own decisions. And when I get that stuff on my porch and I hear stuff, oh, that's a police department, negative comments, I think we have one of the better police forces around when it comes to this kind of stuff. Eureka Springs does some kind of rally or event every weekend, so it's not like this isn't the normal for them. So it's, you know, I think we're blessed in that aspect. I think we have a very cooperative police department, and if you ever have a problem that you think's valid, come by the Cathouse, let me know. I'll be more than happy to go talk to the chief of police, who's a pretty good guy, and we'll see what we can do.
But, you know, Firecracker and Bozeman are, you know, like best friends since he put her in handcuffs.
He asked me, do I get to handcuff the girl again this year? I don't know, man.
I think she kind of liked it.
So I got a question for you. We noticed at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue last year, I think probably because they moved it to Rogers, we saw a lot more police presence. And I remember driving in and out of Eureka, there would be a law enforcement vehicle at both ends of the highway. Any word about how much police presence we're going to see this year during Eureka or Spring Fling?
You know, because I'm going to lay all my cards on the table right there and stuff like that. So last B&B, Bikes B&B, you know what I mean? That you get certain things that happen across the country sometimes, and then you get overzealous either federal or state officers that send notices to different police departments before a rally starts and says, hey, I really don't know nothing, but I think, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that the Rogers Police, I'm not going to put it on them, but from what I understand, it was the Rogers Police Department had put out a memo about certain things that could or could not happen within the motorcycle world. And they were just overzealous a little bit with the amount of people that they had present. Now in Eureka, it died off pretty quickly. You know what I mean? By Saturday afternoon, they had backed it off. You know what I mean? Not backed it off, but I mean, they just went to doing traffic because it was so busy. So that actually, I think we can handle it a little bit. But I mean, you get these things. I mean, unfortunately, we had an incident happening here in Oklahoma City, and I don't talk about negatives, just a couple of days ago. You know what I mean? Those things that happen around the country that are within a very small group, sometimes politicians, insurance people, especially when it's rallies, everybody gets nervous for a minute. Mike, you had it happen at Lake of the Ozarks. You know what I mean? That those things kind of happen. Well, Bikes, Blues, and Barbecues is a great one to use for an example, because you know what I mean? You can't judge or predict what any one man's going to do or anything like that. But, you know, I think we're pretty resilient here in the Midwest. You know what I mean? We, you know, most of these rallies and stuff like that, you don't have those kind of problems and stuff like that. But, you know, all it takes is one bad apple, you know what I mean? And with your kids going to school and getting shot up, and walking in a bar and two guys that should be taking it hand to hand, you know what I mean, like that, start busting out 9mm, and they think they can spread that fear. I mean, there might be some politics there. I mean, those things happen. I'll tell you one thing they're never going to do at the Cat House, as far as it is with us, we're never going to be on those sides of politics or anything like that. We're going to keep on making it a party. I think everybody kind of knows it comes around my joint. We invite everybody there. We don't tell people who or what they can't wear, nothing like that. It's not my problem. I've always had everybody treat us with the ultimate respect, and I've never known that other side of that life. So I'm going to continue to operate our business that way.
Well, and you mentioned the Lake of the Ozarks thing and what you can and can't wear, and this is the motorcycle ride side of me coming out, but it's also the motorcycle rider part of me coming out. What happened at the Lake of the Ozarks affected Bike Fest because people put up signs saying no patches, no colors, and all this, and I said it doesn't serve any point because the people are still going to come, but now they're going to wear soft colors, and people who aren't conscientious of what soft colors are or who's wearing what soft colors or, why this guy's wearing a Raiders t-shirt or whatever else become unaware, and they don't realize the environment they're in. And all you're doing is putting camouflage on top of a problem instead of, letting everybody be aware of it, and they can choose to be there and not be there. And all those signs at Lake of the Ozarks are pretty well gone, a year and a half later. I think there's one place, and we haven't gone by and checked it, but they don't even understand what no patches, no colors means, because they turn people away for having a vest with event patches on it, not club affiliation. They just it didn't matter if you were CMA, Christian Motorcycle Association, or they were just event patches. They were like, you can't wear that in here. You have to sit outside. And so, till that sign's gone, I'm gone. I won't go back to that environment. But that's, like you say, as long as people will be respectful to each other, don't try and, bring you into the middle of it and stuff like that. And like you asked Firecracker about being safe there, I've seen it. I've never felt unsafe or felt like there was a problem at Spring Fling, especially, or Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. There's been a time or two when we had the drama going on at the lake, we were maybe a little more conscientious of what was going on around us.
Yeah, but that wasn't during rally. And I think I can't speak for MC presidents, but I would, if I was one, I'd be like, hey, listen, best behavior during a rally. It would just make sense to me because I don't want people into my business.
Right. We've got friends who wear 1% patch, and the ones that are doing it right are very adamant about, when you're wearing that patch, you're representing all of us, and you need to represent all of us in the right way, and stuff. And not to be getting into the club thing, but, law enforcement a lot of times doesn't understand things. They overreact to things. They, like putting up those signs saying no colors and no patches, that didn't stop anything from happening. All that did was, throw some paint on the problem.
Well, I mean, as far as us in the Cat House, same with politics, man. So, and I think Steve mentioned it about me before. I know where my lane's at, man. I'm not involved in. I don't wear a pin on my vest. I don't have nothing. I wear a leather because it does. I ride motorcycles because I like motorcycles. I sleep with Angela because I'm a heterosexual white male and I like women. I have 6 grandchildren because I want them all to. I like my grandchildren. You know what I mean? That's about all I'm down for. I respect and give all the respect to everybody. Anybody can come in our joint, have as much fun as you want, and it all has to do with the same thing. What somebody chooses to wear on their back, sleep with, vote for, I don't really give a fuck. If it becomes a problem, then you've entered my domain. Then if you want to bully your tactics on whatever, or put another person's agenda down, just I've had guys that say they're with this team and another guys are with this, and I don't know if they're going to jaw at each other in front of my place. I don't go for that either. But I don't have a dog in that fight. It's not my business. You know what I mean? I'm not one of. I'm I ride motorcycles. I sleep with women. I'll drink some beer sometimes or whatever, but I'm just not a club guy. You know what I mean? It's my politics and whatever. It's not, but it's not going to be pushed down my throat. It's not. You know what I mean? I'm pretty. If you guys know me, I don't have to preach my lifestyle, but I know a lot of people, you know what I mean, all across this whole wide world, man. And I think I have their relationships because I'm friends with individuals. Like I tell them, I know somebody in every walk of life. The other thing is too, and which was good, and I think that we've helped in that. I think we honestly have, is the police department, because there are certain things that have happened in Eureka before. They feel better talking to us and working with us, as far as, letting them come through and do their little drive-by things and having open communication with them. They feel better because they know that we're at least up there looking out for our customers. You know what I mean? And we're not policing shit. We're not doing anything else, but they like that open contact. So, you know what I mean? You guys know, you got Bozeman up there, putting your old lady in handcuffs. You know what I mean? You got guys. I think all the times you guys have been there, man, there's been a motorcycle club tour there. I mean, I think I've had two of the, if you watch TV, two of the most rival clubs in if you watch TV, but I've had them both at my bar at the same time on different ends. Don't get me wrong, you know what I mean? But they do their own thing. I don't get in their business, man, and they come up there and do their own, their own thing, man. It's not my lane. It's not my lifestyle. It's none of that stuff. You know what I mean? We want that event to be open for everybody. And I'll tell you, you never know. It's the ones that sit on my porch and they watch some documentary and they want to come up there and croak politics. And they're usually sitting there, like you said, Mike, they don't always wear their patch. You know what I mean? And I got this old, I'm not going to mention who he is or what club he's with or whatever, but he's an old schooler, but he comes up there all the time just to sit on my bar and drink beer sometimes. And he just laughs his ass off. He can make some people's lives horrible up there sometimes. Trust me. They run their mouth, you know what I mean, about shit they know nothing about, you know what I mean? But he doesn't, you know what I mean? He laughs the shit off and goes home. But that's something else, man. We don't get involved in that. It's like politics. We don't do it.
We're going to change the subject in just a second here, but Ray's Moto Life is, I think, talking about Firecracker here on here, because she's such a sweetheart, but she's being quiet tonight, but she is great to be around. So don't think she's unsociable. She's just not talking. She's one cool cat. We're not going to tell the story tonight, but I will say that she did get her road name Firecracker in relation to an event that involved us being around a 1% MC club. And she got excited and was like, easy Firecracker. So it stuck. She earned it. That's how road names go.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she's a little quiet tonight, but she's got, don't worry. She'll, if you meet her in person at the Cat House, she's had a couple of Crown Apple and Sprite, because that's her new favorite drink, Jeff, just so you know. She'll be plenty livened up. I was going to ask Jeff, because a few years ago it was Patron, and then last year it was cherry vodka. What are we drinking this year at the Cat House, Jeff?
What was it? Firecracker was drinking.
She's been drinking Crown Apple and Sprite lately. I
think it was Crown Peach. I think was what I was drinking in Daytona for the one that, I don't drink that much, man. I just don't. Sometimes I try to always get in at night or at least the end of a night or two during Spring Fling, where I get to kind of drop things down and enjoy myself and spend time with some people and talk to them. You know what I mean? But I think it's probably going to be Crown Peach this year.
Crown Peach, okay.
Yeah, but we are doing the shots with Adam Friday night. We're going to try to break that 72 shot mark and try to get it 200 or 300.
Are we doing tequila again?
Yeah, tequila.
Oh, I'm going to make sure I say that. Last time I got caught in there, and they were like, we couldn't go forward until somebody else agreed to take a shot because we hadn't hit that limit. I think I had to be the guy that had to take one for the team and do a shot of tequila just so we could get moving on the rest of the night, because he wasn't going to let us go on until somebody else took a shot, because we had to have that number. And I'm not a tequila guy, but
hopefully we could spread that out. We'll try to get everybody to throw $1 in the bucket and we'll give it to grandma's charity, you know what I mean, or something. You know what I mean?
Right. Witchcraft Cycle Works says Firecracker knows how to cut loose and have fun. They would know. They've been around her enough in an off-camera environment.
Yeah.
And I like this one. She talks almost as much as me.
I don't know about that one.
Doc Harley says that's impossible. But now, Ray, you're stretching it, they say, Ray. Ray's Moto Life, Jeff. If you haven't seen Ray yet, Ray's in the chat tonight. We met him at that Cycle Showcase show. He's got a small channel, but he's out of him and Dallas are out of, I think, Tennessee, Kentucky, one of the two, but I think they're Tennessee. Yeah. And, Ray likes to go on live a lot. I mean, it might just be him and 5 other people, but he just likes to get online and talk to his other content creators, his friends. For him, it's kind of like calling you up and talking on the phone, except he does it on YouTube or Instagram and shares it with everybody who cares to watch or be a part of it or not and stuff. But Ray's a lot of fun. And we had, a great time meeting him at that show. And that's kind of like we said before about Spring Fling. That's what's great about these events is meeting people. People talk about going to Sturgis and they camp next to the same people year after year because they became friends with them. And then they go see them. That might be the only time all year they see them, but that's when they go. Now this year, we're going to see you at Spring Fling. Then we're going to be back in 2 weeks for the International Female Ride Day. And I'm trying to figure out June 10th how we're going to do that because, we've got a little conflict there. Our buddy Adam is actually going to be in St. Louis June 10th. So he's going to be coming across Kansas City like June, I think up in your area, Steve, like June 7th or something. He's going to hit Mid-America Harley-Davidson June 8th. Somewhere else June 9th, and then June 10th, that Saturday, he's going to be at Docks. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to take an afternoon off work and meet him at Mid-America Harley-Davidson so I can make my donation to the Great American Convoy. And then, so on Friday night, we can roll out for the Rumble Rally that Charlie Fagan's putting on in Eureka Springs and stuff, which I thought was really cool. Last year, we didn't get to check that out because it actually fell on the weekend before our rally, the Mid-America Freedom Rally that you sponsored last year, to help. Yeah. And so that was our work weekend where we get everything ready for the rally. So there was no way we could make it last year. Then I heard he was going to move it this year, and I was kind of excited because I thought, hey, maybe we'll get a chance to go. And then the announcement came out that he moved it, and he moved the location to Eureka Springs, which that makes it all the better for us because we love coming down there. That means it's another opportunity to hang out with you. So I'm thinking I'm going to be sick. I'm going to call in sick on June 8th so I can go see Adam at Mid-America Harley-Davidson and contribute to the Great American Convoy. So any of my friends who are tuned in or anybody else, June 8th, I'm thinking I'm going to have a mental health day, something, take some sick time and go be a part of the Great American Convoy. And then, maybe June 9th, we may try and get the Ozark Rumble Rally down there in Eureka Springs on the schedule so we can roll down there on Friday night and come see you again. Because last year we only got to see you like twice. So we're going to make that happen more often this year.
Are you guys going to
Sturgis this year? Yes, sir, we are.
Yep, sure am.
Are you going to be there?
You're going, right?
I'll be there the first weekend.
That's the first weekend. And I usually go like that Thursday, Friday, the first weekend. And then I stay like Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, depending on when I'm just too tired and want to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the time when when Angela has off, that's when the time I want to out. So if you guys are going to be there, we'll hook up. You know what I mean? Somewhere. You know what I mean? And do the thing because we all have a lot in common. Steve, I like hanging out with you. You tend to do the sober thing a little bit more, and you always find the good food places. You know what I mean?
So hold up here. Mike is washing bikes for International Female Bike Week. I don't know what that is. I know International Female Ride Day, and if I'm washing bikes, there better be some really good tips. That's all I got to say because I pay somebody to wash my bike. I don't even like washing my own bike.
Did you say tits or tips?
That's the same thing.
I heard tits. I mean, I'm just saying.
I think so. I think that's what he said.
Tits, it's all the same. It's all plus.
Hey, Jeff.
I'll show you my tits if you're going to wash my bike.
You will, huh? At the switchback?
Yeah,
Jeff,
you're
did
gonna
you
wash
go to
it?
Lake of the you went to Lake
Okay,
of the
Carrie,
Ozarks bike
I'm gonna
rally,
wash her
right?
bike at the switchback, and she's gonna get her titties out. So somebody get ready for that. We'll have to get the logistics worked out on that. Jeff's trying to figure out what day that is. I can see the clock working.
It's September 16th, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, May 6th will be International Female Ride Day. I've actually got that was on my agenda to talk about when we got done with Spring Fling. So, whoops, I think I double clicked it here. Oh, stay, don't go away. I got a little bit of a delay. So, May 6th, International Female Ride Day, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Switchback Bars putting on this event. Firecracker, you tell them the rest.
You kind of I was reading comments, so I didn't really.
Tell them what May 6th is all about.
May 6th is International Female Ride Day. So, Switchback Bar asked me about coming to be, I guess, a special guest. I don't know what you want to say. And asked me if I knew anybody. So, we've got Ray from Witchcraft Cycles and Riding with a Mermaid, which is Bert the Biker Dogs. That's his mom. So, we're all going to be there for females to come meet, or men. It's not just for women, but we're going to lead a ride that leaves the switchback and comes back to the switchback. I'm sure we'll have like stickers and things like that, but it's just going to be a day to celebrate women who ride. And it doesn't have to be a woman that rides her own bike. You can be a woman that rides on the back of your boyfriend or your husband's bike. You're still considered a rider. So we just encourage everybody to come out and have a good time.
Yeah, Carrie says, I heard that too. He is washing. I don't know how I get into this stuff, but the things I do for love and tits. So,
Listen, hey, I'm pretty sure that. Well, I know that we're doing some with them too. Carrie's told me and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, we're all very aware of it. Me and Kyle were talking about it too. I mean, Kyle bring it up to me just the other day too. That same statistic you did, not only statistics, and I'll tell you, man, I did. I mean, Angela mostly, but I did raise 2 daughters too. You know what I mean? And I've learned to talk to women in the last 23 years since being with Angela, and they do exist. You know what I mean? I guess they got rights and all that stuff now. They can vote, all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? And the thing is cool about these rider events, and you get around Firecracker and Carrie and all these people like that. For an old guy that had the most old school, stereotypical male chauvinist pig type attitude or whatever, and I'm just being honest, that's one of the most refreshing things about these kind of rallies, or for me, man, is to listen to some of these ladies' stories and the things they do in their trials and tribulations. Also, man, they're all into tattoos now and stuff, and sexy. So, I mean, I'm telling you, it's eye candy everywhere. And my wife isn't a very jealous wife. She's very secure and stuff like that. And God, I'm glad she's like that. But I'm telling you, there's some very interesting stories with these ladies. We just had the Women of the Wind at our place, 150 of them just a couple weeks ago. And, man, some of the most, I think I met a couple friends there. And they were some of the best stories. And I'm telling you, for a guy like me coming from the places I come from, you know what I mean? I just never had done that in my life. So in the last 10 years, being 8 to 10 years at the Cathouse, I've had to listen to more and learn that, especially from my bartenders and stuff. And I'll just tell you, man, this is going to be one of my better events. I think these type of woman run events are becoming more and more the norm, and I'm going to do everything I can to do to be part of it, because it's fun. They're good people, you know what I mean? And it isn't that push your chest out type of stuff. You guys can do that if you want. You can do a lot of chest bumping up there, Firecracker. I think that might be a new women's code for like biker together, chest bumping. I don't want to create a trend or anything, but
no, I like that trend.
Firecracker, put your arm up in front of the camera. Somebody got ink therapy with her daughter this week. So I don't know how well you can see it, but it's a mother-daughter tattoo with a flower on it there. It's upside down, but that's okay because of the way the camera is.
Yeah.
But she got her mother-daughter tattoo with her daughter. Her daughter got a matching one and stuff. And, so that was cool. But she got her some ink therapy last Friday.
No, I think it's great, man. And, part of this whole culture and stuff like that. And, man, if you guys are old school and stuff like that, back in the 80s and, not late 70s, I'm not that old, but there just weren't a lot of women around the culture. It just wasn't, you know what I mean? Now I think with women riders and husbands and wives and girls that just ride and everything, there's probably more women out here doing it all together than anything. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think they got their own events and rallies, and I want to do everything I can to support it, and anything I can learn from it, I think I'll be more the better.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I think of myself as old school, but I've been riding for a long time. I started on dirt bikes, in the early 80s. I mean, I was born in 71. So yeah, I'm 52 years young almost this summer. And but I started riding dirt bikes when I was 10 or 12 years old, Honda Elsinore. So early 80s, I started riding dirt bikes. And, my mom and dad supported that. They got me on a YZ motocross bike by the time I was 15 years old because I kept tearing everything else apart. You ever tried to jump a 350 CB over a freaking, lift in a cow field? No, they didn't last. I just ripping shit all apart. But
Yeah.
anyway, my dad rode. He rode when he met my mom. He had a bad accident. He's got a steel plate actually in his wrist to this day from it and stuff. But, they never kept me from motorcycles. They embraced that, when I had that desire and helped me, grow that. And, my mom is, in her early 70s, and she rides her own bike, 10 years ago, she was still riding. At 60 now, she had a really bad car accident. She's got a hip problem and stuff. So my dad found her this Honda Silverwing thing that looks like an overgrown scooter, but she could climb in it because she didn't have to throw her leg over it. And that thing would run 90 mile an hour. I took it to the parts store one day to get parts for the Harley, and it's kind of like, the moped thing. You don't want to see your friends riding it, but it's still fun. So, but my mom rode, my dad rides. He's got a V-Rod trike now. He's got back and knee problems and stuff. But, I came from a family that rides. My dad's brother rode Honda Goldwings. He rode a Honda, XL 250 when I was young. My whole family, I've been around motorcycles since I was young and stuff. And I've had that family that supported that. I've never had a family that tried to talk me out of riding or tell me how dangerous motorcycles were. Instead, they were like, if you love it, great. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you found something you love. And I know, I've heard other content creators talk about not having that aspect in their life or starting later in life and things like that. Firecracker obviously started later than me. But when we got together, she expressed a desire to learn to ride her own. And as a motorcycle rights organization person, I believe full force that, we need more riders, whether they're men, women, whatever. We need more riders in our industry. We need to grow this culture because if we don't, they will stomp us out. They will continue to take things away from us like the EPA is doing with the tuners and all those things and stuff. So we need to, embrace everybody that we can get into this culture, men or women, and, bring young people in, get them going, get them started on two wheels, whether it's an electric bike, like the Strider bikes and stuff like that, whatever we got to do. But, it's really cool.
First time I went to Arkansas on a motorcycle was 2013. And it was me and another guy, and we were going to meet a couple of people he knew. Well, one of them happened to be a female. And she shows up, and of course, stereotypical me, she's beautiful, blonde, looks like Barbie doll, unbelievable assets. And she's got a T-shirt on that says, "It's not going to eat itself." And I'm like, oh my God. So I said, "Are you going to be on the back of a bike?" She goes, "No, man, that's my bike right over there." And I'm like, oh, shit. We're going to have to go 10 miles an hour through all these beautiful roads in Arkansas, right? We get going out of Eureka, and we're hitting the curves, and she is right on my ass. And I'm like, my God, this girl she's riding. So I pushed it a little harder. I keep pushing a little. Finally, I mean, I'm riding as hard as I can without crashing. We finally pull over, and I go back to talk to her, and she's just got a grin on her face. And I said, what's your story? She goes, I used to race motorcycles in California. She goes, I used to race on road courses. I'm like, okay, makes sense.
So how'd you let her get away? Couldn't keep up? What's up, Bagger?
Yeah. Why? And I'm only telling you a little bit about
right into your fiddle.
When I see you guys in person, I'll tell you the rest of the story.
Oh, so the rest of the story is not YouTube worthy, huh? Not YouTube safe.
It gets pretty crazy. Let's just say that.
Right on. Well, like kind of to recap, and Jeff, you want to hang out with us for a minute? I was going to talk about a couple of things.
It's Mike. I've got. Unless it's something you need me for, I'll be more than happy to.
No, you, bro, you have been great for an hour and 45 minutes. We love you. We love the Cathouse. We love Spring Fling, and we will be seeing you soon. We mean you probably need to connect sometime this week, and I'll get Road Rush's information.
Yeah.
And I need to get kind of recap the list. I reached out to Biker Dad earlier and stuff, and trying to get a confirmation on that. And we'll get together and talk about, rooms and what we need and all that, and get that ironed out. Like I said, I didn't want to throw too many names out. Biker Dad is not confirmed, but he is a possibility. And so that'd be cool to have him there. Saddle Tramp is planned on coming, him and his old lady, his missus. Saddle Tramp is a real cool, old school dude. I mean, he lived in Fayetteville for a little while. He called me the other day when I talked to him about the Content Creator House. We had a nice chat. Good guy. You're really going to like Saddle Tramp and stuff. So anyway, Jeff, thank you so much for being on here. You always make the stream that much more fun. Get the girls smiling and laughing.
Thank you,
Angela, we miss her and we love her. And, give your mom a hug and keep you all in our prayers. And whatever you need, holler.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Hey, Steve, you take it easy. Firecracker, thank you very much for being there and glamoring us up and making us all be responsible a little bit more. Hey, you guys we really appreciate all you guys' support. Steve, man, you do a lot for us all over the Pied Piper of the biker world, brother, and I got you. You know what I mean? Mike, thank you very much. Firecracker, again, thank you very much. We'll holler to you guys later.
Yeah.
All right.
Good seeing you, brother.
Take care.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Yep.
We want to thank everybody for joining in on the show tonight. We've had a great time. I want to thank Jeff from the Cathouse, even though he's not here. Pig Trail, Harley-Davidson, Switchback Bar, Rock and Pig, everybody that's sponsoring Spring Fling, which was the topic for tonight, for putting on motorcycle events. I want to encourage everybody to go find a motorcycle event in your community, even if you can't make it to Spring Fling, because if you don't support these events, they will fall apart. They won't happen. And we need these kinds of events in our community. So, find an event you can enjoy and be a part of and support, and just be part of the community. We'd like to see you down the road. Good night. Thank you, everybody.